felt the dude looked like Jesus Christ to me. He looked like he looked, he was Black Jesus to me. Nobody could tell me anything different. It didn't make sense to me. Like for me growing up in Akron, Ohio, all the hardships that I had to go through, you look for inspiration. You look for any inspiration you can. And usually people that's playing professional sports or people in the music industry is the ones that give you that inspiration to make you believe you could be anything you want. I had, King Griffey Jr. and Deion Sanders and a lot of other musicians, but Michael Jordan was kind of like that God. He was that angel sent from heaven. That Michael Jordan was kind of like that God. He was that angel sent from heaven that I kind of used him to help me get through some of the darkest days that I had. Even people say, well, you're only 9 years old, but there's a lot of dark days, when you grow up the way I grew up and you're part of a single parent household. So, every other day, if I got an opportunity on WGN to watch Mike, it gave me another boost of life. It made me feel that I can make it out of this situation. And when he decided to, give it up after winning that third title versus Phoenix, I felt like, what can I do? I don't know what to do. And I'm losing words right now thinking about it again. It's kind of resurfacing me as a 9-year-old. I'm like, okay, without Mike, what do I do now? Who's going to be my inspiration? And that brought tears to my eyes. Yeah, because like when you're a 9-year-old kid and you need inspiration from someone, they become your father, which I needed. They become your brother. They become your teammate. They become your pastor. They become your superhero. It's like Batman and Michael Jordan for me when I was growing up. Those are the two best superheroes in the world. And I even remember the cartoon, what was it called? The All-Stars Map with him, Wayne Gretzky, Bo Jackson. Yeah, like I remember that too, man. It was like, one of my All-Stars is gone. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, they become everything in your household. And it's definitely something that's unfair to that particular athlete. But as a 9-year-old, that's all I knew. So we didn't have the inside track on, what was the real reason that he was giving it up. I feel like, maybe I should give up too.
I believe 2001 is the year you met MJ, and it was in Chicago. Talk about what that experience was like, please.
Bro, you have no idea, man. It's two things. It's two people that I've met in my life that's changed my life. Me and my wife that I've been with since 2002. And when I met Michael Jordan in 2001, you know what? Let me throw Jay-Z on there too, because that was a huge moment for me too. But when I met Michael Jordan for the first time, I literally couldn't believe it was him. I couldn't believe it. Like, people, I felt the dude looked like Jesus Christ to me. He looked like he was Black Jesus to me. Nobody could tell me anything different. People, I felt the dude looked like Jesus Christ to me. He looked like he was Black Jesus to me. Nobody could tell me anything different. When I was in Chicago, Maverick and I and our good friend G, they take us to hoops. I'm going there. And before they play, they say Mike always, used to lift before they play. Mav know the story. So we walk upstairs And nobody told me that Mike lifted before he played. I don't know anything about lifting right now. I'm a high school sophomore. I don't know anything about lifting. We walk up there, the first person I see is Charles Oakley. You know, Oak being from Cleveland, dapped him up. I had seen Oak around the city a few times, you know. And Oak moved, and when he moves, Mike is sitting on the bench press. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't think he was real, man. You don't understand. I didn't think Michael Jordan was real. I only thought he lived in the TV, either in games or commercials or Come Fly With Me on cassette tapes.
Wow, yeah.
I didn't think he was real. And when I saw him, I was like, if the man above would have took me that day, I'd have lived a hell of a life, I swear to God.
So this is your sophomore year in high school, correct?
It's my sophomore year, yep.
Sophomore year, 2001, you're on the court with him. What's that experience like? I mean, you're on the court with, Black Jesus, as you said. Do you remember anything about that run?
Yeah, him and Antoine Walker was talking so much I swear to God. People, I felt the dude looked like Jesus Christ to me. He looked like he looked, he was Black Jesus to me. Nobody could tell me anything different.
Was there, when you were a kid, who did you look up to? Who was, in your mind, your game you were playing? Whose game were you playing in your mind?
Wow, I love Michael Jordan. The way that he approached the game, the way that he led his troops when he went out on the court, and his never say die attitude, man, was something I always looked up to.
Maybe it didn't work out chronologically. I'm guessing did you ever get to play any kind of game with him?
No. Never got an opportunity to compete against him.
Yeah. You meet him? You know him?
Yeah. Let me tell you a story, as a matter of fact. The first, so I'm growing up and I'm watching, this guy, Michael Jordan. I think all you guys know him, I think. So I'm growing up watching this guy on TV every day, and I'm like, wow, he's an amazing basketball player. Hopefully someday I get an opportunity to meet him. So I think it was my junior year in high school. I go up to Chicago and I go to a gym called Hoops where he plays basketball in the summertime. And I didn't know he was going to be there, but I seen him walking towards me, and it was kind of like he was walking on air. I had to pinch myself. Is that Michael? Who? And it's like he was like Black Jesus to me. Like I was like, are you finally here? Yeah. So that was like one of the best feelings
now,
I've
had
ever
he,
had.
at that point in your life, in your basketball career, had he heard of you? Did he know of you?
Well, yeah, I think he did. He called me a young fella, of course,
Yeah.
and just basically told me to keep working at it, and someday I can get to the NBA. I was a junior in high school, so, I guess he told me something right, and I just kept working at it.
Retirement. Okay, and I hear meeting Michael Jordan for you was what?
Man, meeting Michael Jordan for me was like, it looked like he was like Jesus, Black Jesus walking towards me. Yeah. So when he walked in, it was like, I didn't know what to say. It was overwhelming to meet, to finally meet the guy I've looked up to my whole life.
Really? Because you've been playing basketball since you came out of the womb?
Well, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So you chose to wear the same number as Michael, too, 23.
Right. Man, that's my inspiration in basketball, to see what he did on the court and to see what he did off the court. I didn't think it was no other number to wear besides 23.
Besides 23. And so what
David Quinnan, ESPN, LeBron, from the number that you wear on your jersey to just the way people have talked about this one guy being such a luminary in the game and you trying to chase it. How do you put into words passing Michael in such a statistic that has a lot of stature in this game?
I think, first of all, I wear the number because of Mike. I think I fell in love with the game because of Mike, just seeing what he was able to accomplish. But I felt like Mike was so, when you're growing up and you're seeing Michael Jordan, it's almost like a god. So I didn't never believe I could be Mike. So I started to focus myself on other players and other people around my neighborhood because I never thought that you could get to a point where Mike was. So I think that helped shape my game. And I think the biggest thing for me sitting here today after breaking the all-time scoring record in playoff history is that I did it just being me. I don't have to score the ball to make an impact in a basketball game. And that was my mindset. When I started playing the game, I was like, if I'm not scoring the ball, how can I still make an impact on the game? And it's carried me all the way to this point now, and it's gonna carry me for the rest of my career because scoring is not number one on my agenda.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic, you've said multiple times now that growing up, you never thought you could reach Michael status. When did you realize you could?
I don't have I mean,
you're on the green. If you're not,
I'm not a golfer. This guy right here to my left is though, so he'll tell me what that means when we get on the bus.
He drove the green, I'll tell you that.
But you know what I mean. You're obviously in the discussion, whether or not whatever. Like you said earlier, it's a barbershop debate, but you're in that discussion. When did you realize you could be?
I think, Jason, at the end of the day, for my name to come up in a discussion with the greatest basketball player of all time, it's like wow. Like I said, I did pretty much everything that MJ did when I was a kid. I shot fadeaways before I should have. I wore a leg sleeve on my leg and folded it down so you saw the red part.
For no reason.
I wore black and red shoes with white socks. I wore short shorts so you could see my undershorts underneath. I didn't go bald like Mike, but I'm getting there. But I'm getting there. But it'd be post-career though. That's the only thing I didn't do. But other than that, I did everything Mike did. I even wore a wristband on my forearm. So I didn't do the hoop ring either. That was Mike. But I did everything Mike did, man. I wanted to be Mike. And so for my name to come up in any discussion with Michael Jordan or Kareem or all these great guys that has paved the way for myself and Tristan and Kev and Schlish, it's just a wow factor. I don't really have nothing to say.
Hi.
When I was a kid, when I was in high school, I was growing up through the ranks when Kobe came into the league. He was, it wasn't a dream of mine to come straight, from high school at that point in time to the NBA. But I was like, wow, a 17 or 18-year-old kid being able to make that leap, that's pretty damn cool. And as I started playing more ball and I went into high school, the things that he was doing on the floor, I admired and wanted to be a part of. I went to ABCD camp, and he came and talked to all the kids that was there, and I happened to be one of the kids that was there, and I was just listening. I was just trying to soak everything up I could. And I remember one thing that he said, he was like, if you want to try to be, great at it, or want to be one of the greats, you got to put the work in. There's no substitution to work. And I was a 15-year-old kid at that camp. You can actually find the footage of him at that camp And then 2001, I believe I was playing in New Jersey, and the All-Star game, if I'm not mistaken, and y'all can correct me, was in Philly, right? Yeah, that Saturday, me and Maverick drove to the Intercontinental downtown Philadelphia, and he gave me a pair of his shoes, which I ended up wearing that following night. It was the red, white, and blue Kobe's. I was a 15 and he was a 14, and I wore them anyways. And I sat and just talked to him for a little bit. He gave me the shoes, I rocked them in the game. And it was the same night that we played Oak Hill against Melo. And then I saw what he was able to do the very next night, winning MVP here in Philly. That following night. As I got drafted, I still just admired him, you know, seeing what he was able to accomplish, winning championships, having, you know, being early in his career where, you know, he learned from the misses that he had against the series against Utah, and he just used that as motivation and got better and better and better to him winning multiple championships. And continued to admire him throughout my high school rank. And then as competitors, just seeing the work ethic that he put into the game. He had zero flaws offensively, zero. You backed off of him, he could shoot the three. You body him up a little bit, he can go around you. He can shoot the mid-range, he can post. He can make free throws. He has zero flaws offensively. And, you know, that's something that I admired as well, just being at a point where the defense will always be at bay, where they couldn't guard you at all offensively, where you just felt like you were just immortal offensively because of your skill set and your work ethic. We take it down to 2008, where we become the Redeem team. And it was a dream come true for me to be able to line up alongside of him. Just admiring him for so many years, and seeing him from afar, and then being able to be in practices with him, and you know, me watching and learning. So on. I mean, it's just too much. It's just too much. The story is just too much. It doesn't make sense. And just to make a long story short, now I'm here in a Lakers uniform in Philadelphia, where he's from, where one of the first time I ever met him, gave me his shoes, he won All-Star Weekend. It's surreal.
Bryant, and one guy certainly envious of the way Bryant's played lately, LeBron James.
I scratch my head every time I hear the name Kobe Bryant right now, and I try to get a dictionary and try to find a word that what he's doing right now, and I'm just lost for words. I mean, he's amazing. I've been quoted saying that he's definitely the best player in our league. To me, in my eyes, the best scorer in our league, and it's unbelievable. I don't know if it's not another guy in this league that can accomplish some of the things that he's doing right now.
Well, in Cleveland this past week. So let me ask both of you. Kobe, you start. Tell me how you see LeBron's game developing after just going up against him this week.
Well, I mean, he's an incredible player. I think, his size and, meshed with his quickness and his leaping ability, his passing ability, his shooting ability. I think he's a tremendous all-around player.
LeBron, how's Kobe doing these days?
Well, like I've been quoted in the past, and I will continue to be quoted, I think he's the best player in our league right now. What he's able to do offensively and defensively is it's unbelievable, and I look up to a guy like Kobe Bryant just because of what he's able to do every night he goes out on the basketball court. So once again, I'm quoted again saying that Kobe Bryant is the best player in our league.
You'll know when you win in that one-on-one at the team. LeBron.
That's what I said. One-on-one is that's easy for me. That's just like playing one-on-one is that's how I grew up playing. That's like my thing. LeBron is more like Magic Johnson would say, this is a great passer, you play all around the game. At the core of me, I'm a one-on-one player. I do that in my sleep.
Who's the best player in the NBA?
Kobe Bryant.
Better than you?
I would have to say right now. He's a really, really good player. Individually, he has some of the best skills that the NBA has ever seen in history. And he's shown year after year after year why he continues to be one of the best players in our league. I'm getting better.
Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, if you made it this far, you might need an explanation, or maybe not. Maybe you might not need any explanation at all to what you've seen. And what you have seen is that LeBron's sexual energy towards Kobe Bryant, especially Michael Jordan, is very uncomfortable, folks. Very uncomfortable. That's what we've seen. And the fact that LeBron James, we don't know if it's something sexual or he's trying to outdo these stories told about Michael Jordan, because we all know all these stories, by guys that actually played with him in his era would tell these stories about him because they were actually there to witness those things, whether they was in practice, whether they was on the court with them and stuff like that. So we don't know, LeBron James stories, if they're really true or he's just trying to, one up these guys. But, being that, for the most part, he wasn't there to tell these kind of stories. He wasn't old enough to tell these kind of stories. It makes it look, kind of fruity. And it makes it look stupid. First, he said that he never, when David Letterman asked him, did he ever compete against Michael Jordan? He said no. And then he said he met Michael Jordan in a facility before, and then he saw Michael Jordan. But at another time, he told us that he actually scrimmaged against Michael Jordan with Antoine Walker. Who else was there? I think Ron Artest was there. These things like that. So you competed against him or you never competed against him. It's the most ridiculous thing with this guy. But either way, it seems like this guy has a sexual fetish attraction for Michael Jordan. And he tries to outdo everybody else's stories and try to make it seem like his stories are number one. The same thing with Kobe. When he was telling that, I think that was 2018 when they won a week Eastern Conference Finals, and they're touting this guy like he really did something. They got to have a whole press conference and they got to talk about Michael Jordan because I guess this was his 10th finals appearance. Like he was like he was on the level of Michael Jordan. And remember, he was going into those finals 3-5. He comes out 3-6, as we all know. But he was going into those finals at 3-5 like he really achieved something. Remember, they lost Kyrie. They I think they were like a number 2 or number 3 seed, whatever, without Kyrie, and they still came out on top, folks. So, I don't know. Either it's rigged, it was rigged, or the competition was that weak. And then they say this guy had nobody. He goes to the finals and gets swept. Wow. Goes to the finals and gets swept. If I'm mistaken, I think that's that J.R. Smith game, right? When they almost had game 1 in the finals, but this dummy dished the ball off because he didn't want to go to the free throw line and shoot those free throws. So, it like I said, it's just disgusting that they're celebrating this thing. 2018 Eastern Conference Finals. Like this guy really even played anybody on the way to that Eastern Conference Finals, played anybody of any competition in the East Finals. And they're just sitting there having a press conference. He's talking about, did you pass Michael Jordan? He's like, did I? Oh boy, is this a comedy? Is this this has to be, this can't be real when you see these things. And then you see him admit all through the 2000s, 2006, 2009, I think another one was in the 2000s, another time, basically admitting that Kobe Bryant is better than him. No time in the 2000s was he better than Kobe Bryant. This is out of his own mouth. It doesn't matter what Nick Wright says. It doesn't matter what Gilbert Arenas says. It don't matter what FYF says. It don't matter what nobody Who was that? Draymond Green. Draymond Green said he was the best player since he came into the 2000s. Since LeBron James came into the league, he was the best player since he came into the league. Remember that? But yet LeBron James is on record saying many times that Kobe Bryant was the best player in the league. And Kobe Bryant was all decade in the 2000s. That's funny. I think LeBron James was all decade in the 2010s. But the funny thing about that, he lost a lot. He lost a lot in the 2010s. I think he lost, what was it, 3 times? Damn, I want to say 4 times, right? No, he had to lose 5 times because he only lost 1 time in the 2000s. I had to go look that up. Was he, who was all decade? That's crazy. You lost 5 times in the finals. Is that right? So let's count it up. So he lost 11, 14, 15, 17, 18. He lost. How crazy is that? This guy lost 5 times in the finals in that decade, in the 2010s. 5 times. Wow. So that means, so what was that? Would that be like 3? Yeah. So he was 3 and 5 in that decade. Goodness God. He was 3 and 5 in that decade. He lost. He lost in the finals half of that decade. Because he was in the finals the whole damn decade. Right? Was he in there the whole decade? No. Because Kobe was in there. So he was, I guess 8 times. Yeah, 8 times because he didn't go in 18, 19. So he was in there 8 times and lost 5 damn times in that decade. That is crazy. How's that for greatness? We always say 4 and 6 or something like that. But when you break it down like that, goodness God, that guy was in the finals 8 times in that decade and lost 5 of them. How crazy is that? And then at the end of that decade, well, 18, they had the nerve to bring up Michael Jordan. This makes you better than Michael Jordan? That's what was that dude? Mike Miniman or Dave Minimum or something like that? He's a minimum. McDermott, right? Wow. You already know all that stuff was staged. It was, you know, all that stuff was fixed up, all scripted for him to say this nonsense that don't make any sense. But I like that clip when they asked him who would win, but when Kobe was asked who would win between you and LeBron James, I was talking about Kobe was just like, what is you really asking that question? He was just shaking his head at first. He was like, no, this is what I do. 1-on-1, I do this in my sleep. LeBron James is more like a passer, a Magic Johnson like passer, which he ain't. But he said, no way. He would have LeBron James on his knees. Oh, that's what his fans don't get. His fans don't get this. Kobe would shut his ass down. Kobe would shut him down. Mike would shut him down. All these great defenders would shut him down on a 1-on-1. And guess what? He won't be able to stop them. That's the problem. If one of them got the ball like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, it would be over. Because he couldn't stop him from the perimeter. He couldn't stop him from driving. He's not a great or a good on-ball defender. We all know LeBron James got those first teams for being a good help defender. Because his teams in Cleveland, even the first time, into Miami, those teams were what? Always top 5 in defense. They were good defensive teams. So all he had to do was play help defense. And then you got to look at the guys at his position. Wasn't no competition. Wasn't no real competition at that position as far as, you know, defenders. At that time, I think Caron Butler, he wasn't a bad defender, but he's not all-time great. I had to go back and look. You just, at the small forward, there just wasn't none in the early 2000s that was just like great. So all LeBron James had to do was, you know, play help defense, and his team played good defense. I mean, his team playing good defense really helped him out. See, Michael Jordan wasn't making he wasn't making defensive teams based on his team being the good defensive teams in the 80s. Oh, when he first came in the league, the first 4 years, no, his team wasn't good defensively. So it wasn't like, oh yeah, he's making it because he's a good help defender. His team is good at defense. Nothing like that. He had to show his team how to play defense. LeBron James went and got defenders, right? He couldn't show his team how to be good to great defenders because he never was that. All you had to do was shut down Tony Parker. All you had to do was shut down Andre Iguodala or Kawhi Leonard, these type of guys, Kevin Durant. You couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Ain't gonna happen. So that's it. I just thought I'd put out this video because to me it's kind of, it's kind of borderline, fruity what this guy's doing. His fans, they kind of look dumb because the whole GOAT debate between him and Michael Jordan and then Kobe and him, it looks stupid because LeBron James grew up idolizing Kobe Bryant, wished he could be like Kobe Bryant, went to Kobe Bryant's camps, took advice from Kobe Bryant, and then bowed down. I mean, that's the real factor. He really wasn't watching Michael Jordan when he was growing up. And he talking about, oh, Michael Jordan was my inspiration. Remember the first video? And then he tried to say, I know I was 9 years old, but, as a 9 years old, it was always tough and, days were dark and he was my inspiration. Like, first of all, we found out that you got taken for your mama in 5th grade. So that's about the time, about 9 years old, 8 years old. It wasn't too tough the rest of his life. He went to private school, Catholic schools, and he lived in a rich home with rich people. That's if we can even believe the story that they're trying to tell us. That's if we're trying to believe. Literally, his mom might have sold him to those people. We don't know that, folks. We don't know that. Because, I'm going to tell you what. There's parents, or people, women, whatever, that give birth to a child, and then they sell their child, because they can't take care of it, to a foster home. And you still got the option to keep in touch with the foster parents and the kid at the same time. I know this firsthand from people I know. Yep. It's weird because you done pay for a child, so you can raise a child in your house because you can't have children or whatever like that. You give the real mother the money, $20,000, $10,000, $40,000, whatever like that. I think the state gets a cut, or the people who make it happen get a cut of the money too. But the parent that sold the baby still has contact with the child through the foster parent, and that's okay. So I want, because I heard she had him when she was very young. She was underage. So these things do happen for women that's underage and they can't take care of the child and they want to sell it. It goes through an adoption agency or something like that. So this is real stuff, folks. So I wouldn't be surprised if his mama did that. And then now they're trying to give us some kind of story of, the story was that they saw LeBron James in 5th grade at that age. They're talking about like 8, 9 years old, running down the street. Some football coach, and like the way he could run. Or football, basketball, whatever it was. And that coach had to get him on the team. And this was some recovering alcoholic coach who was trying to get his life back together. Boom, bam, boom. And the story just goes on and on. It sounds like a bunch of nonsense. Later on, LeBron James ends up in the other home that he was raised with these rich people. Because that coach ended up pawning LeBron James off to the actual home he would grow up since he was in 5th grade. It's a real dumb story. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody's just going to stop their life and grab a child off the street and say, oh yeah, I want you to come live with me because you can run down the street. It's just crazy, man. Because you're fast. And his mom couldn't get him to the practices because of her situation. So LeBron James went and stayed with some strangers he didn't even know. Just to get him to a football practice, folks. This ain't to high school or college. They're Pop Warner, folks. This is Pop Warner. Pop Warner. You're going to send your child to go live with some recovering alcoholic head coach so he can be on the Pop Warner team. How dumb does that sound? You can't make up a dumber story in your life. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. But the story goes, because she wasn't able to, pay for the equipment, get him over there on time to be on the team, whatever. Maybe she didn't have a car. That he went to go live with the head coach, and the head coach had a wife. And then his mama, LeBron's mama, would come over and cook for her son, whatever like that. After a while, they said it became inconvenient. She ended up moving in with the head coach, and they were all staying there. Well, the wife got mad, and she didn't want to deal with it no more. This is all over a Pop Warner team, guys. So the whole thing blew up, and then they introduced LeBron James to this other coach at the high school, to where he took LeBron James in. No, he wasn't in high school at the time. I think he was a high school coach. But so LeBron James moved into this high school coach's house. I think the high school coach, he would end up going to that high school, but he still wasn't in high school yet. And Gloria, she just moved out, period. Moved out the other head coach's house, and that was it. So LeBron James grew up now basically from 5th grade all the way till he graduated high school in a rich home, because that other head coach, his wife, worked for the she worked in the Congress. So they were like rich. And then the other coach, he had other jobs or whatever like that. So that's why he was driving a Hummer in high school. That's why he was driving a Hummer. So my biggest thing is, we don't know what happened to the mama. I guess she would just come see her son after that. She went to go do her own thing. If you want to believe the story. But since 5th grade until 9 years old, the same 9 years old he was talking about, he didn't grow up in no struggle, folks. And you can see the way he acts. He don't act like he grew up in the hood. And so he don't act like a thug, or he don't act like, a guy who grew up poor and they appreciate what they got now. Humble. He acts like a spoiled brat. That's what he's been acting like all his life. The chosen one, the king. You know what I'm saying? People who came from humble background and grew up a certain way, poor, and stuff like that, they would just be happy to get in the NBA, happy to get some money, because they feel like, man, I can't mess this up, man. Look how far I came. We came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? I could be doing the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, and it just all blows up. And then that's it. I don't got nothing. This ain't a guy who worried about nothing like that, because he didn't grow up poor. He grew up rich. And that's why he's always acted the way he acted. That's why he was able to do the stuff that a lot of people like us won't be able to do. When he said, oh yeah, I scrimmaged with Michael Jordan. I walked in while he was, lifting weights, and look who he was in Ohio, man. His foster parents were rich. Sent him to a rich school, in middle school, high school, everything like that. He was rich. So he had the access to get to Michael Jordan once he became a good player. I ain't saying you got access to Michael Jordan just because you're rich, but once he became a great player in high school, and plus he's rich too, bam, bam, boom. And it ain't just a coincidence that Rich Paul grew up in Akron too. So this story that they try to tell you that he met Rich Paul when he was selling jerseys out the back of his trunk is nonsense. Rich Paul, father, he owned a store. He had money. He was a business owner. So Rich Paul didn't grow up poor neither. Rich Paul went to I think he went to a good college or whatever like that. Even though I question, what college did he go to for business? Where did he get a business degree? Where did he go to college to be an agent? None of that, folks. But I'm just saying that dumb story they tell you that I think he was going to the draft, already went to the draft, something like that. And then he saw Chris Paul at the airport selling jerseys. It's nonsense, man. And you make this dude you never knew in your life, some dude selling jerseys, probably illegally selling jerseys, you're a businessman. You're a right-hand, but you never even noticed. You think this snobby rich kid would stop for, just anybody selling jerseys? No, folks. They knew each other. They probably saw each other at all kind of rich parties and stuff like that back in Akron. Come on. If he grew up in Akron too, Rich Paul, and LeBron James was there, and he was the biggest thing in Akron, what do you think? Rich Paul already knew LeBron James. You don't just let somebody off the street run a business and be your right-hand man. It don't work like that, folks. They're trying to tell you another stupid story that doesn't make any sense. the people will believe anything, because when people's on TV, all they have to do is say whatever they want to say. And the people are obsessed with people on TV. So, oh man, those are people on TV, man. They would never lie. That's all they've been doing, is lying to get where they are and get what they want. That's it, folks. So tell me what you think.